Hi, welcome. This is going to be a new moon reading. So together we're going to take a look at the energy of the new moon or the message that comes through and that you're guided to. There's a new moon in Pisces coming up, and the energy that I'm getting with this is a sort of intensity. It feels good, and if you're here joining me for the message, you're probably going to experience it in that way. You might experience some intensity, but it's in general a positive new moon. However, if you're not in a high vibrational energy, I think there could be potential for there to be a bit of negative intensity, and I'll explain why. So this new moon is conjunct Jupiter, which is great. It's big, it's expansive, it can bring in luck, unexpected changes, right? But the way Jupiter works is it can be really luck out of nowhere, but a lot of times we know that luck is more being in alignment with our purpose, with our plan, and doing the work to be on that path, right? Usually, right? It's not just luck out of nowhere. Luck is usually you're in alignment and the universe brings something to you out of nowhere. The new moon is also sextile Uranus, so there is even more potential for unexpected changes and blessings. However, at the same time, there's some other astrological aspects going on, like Mars and Venus conjunct Pluto. As you may know, Mars and Venus have been kind of moving together really closely, and at this point they'll be conjuncting Pluto, and that has some potential for a kind of crazy energy, also some really passionate energy. So it's just with Pluto, it's not good or bad, but it's intense, and you have to know how to deal with that. And as I've channeled a lot so far in 2022, this is a year where Pluto is a big player. I can feel it, I'm telling you. During this new moon, Saturn and Mercury will also be conjunct, so there's some potential for difficult conversations is what I'm feeling, right? I'm reading this intuitively. So if we put that all together, I'm getting this vibe of intensity, intense conversations, but this could be for the good or for the bad. It could be out of nowhere you're meeting someone or connecting with someone in this really positive way, and it's like this intense but high vibrational connection. There could also be potential for some Plutonian connections, in which case be very careful because those have a tendency to be obsessive but not really last, or those kinds of connections could be coming up again in your life. In general, though, it's just with the new moon being in Pisces, it's a fresh start. Pisces being so creative, there's a really beautiful energy. I want to show you this stone because I'm just seeing this color in my mind, and this is perfect. This is Amazonite, I believe, and it's sort of this like deep teal sea foamy color, and that's what I'm seeing in my mind. I get that with Uranus a lot, actually, and any Neptune, so with Pisces. Also, this new moon, being that it's in Pisces rules the 12th house of endings. Endings always bringing new beginnings as well. There could be some issues with finality, with death, and with last chances. So I don't mean to scare anyone, but it's that idea of like endings. This could be either the final straw or the last chance to get something right. And if not, it's going to like move over, and starting Aries season, which is coming right up, there's going to be a big change. And you're not going to be bringing it forward, or you're not going to be brought forward, depending, whose energy we're talking about. It's just an astrological feeling. And for good or bad, this will be an intense one. I feel like it's going to be really, really, really good. And any of the negative is just, dead weight that's going to be gone, that's going to be lifted. And so just stay in your high vibrational energy, friends. And I think this one is going to be a really nice one for you. So let's get some cards. Those were just some channeled messages I had for you. We'll pull some tarot and oracle cards now to see what we're getting. I feel some urgency. I was actually working on a different reading, a different project entirely, and I kept being called to do this new moon reading. I was a few days late with it in my intentions. You know, I had intended to record it on a very specific day. However, that wasn't in the cards. And I feel like there's been a slight shift recently that is why I had to wait, and how this message will be received at the exact right time. And also, even though these readings are new moon, I do new moon and full moon readings, there's sometimes just times in your life where you're dealing with that sort of energy, new moon and Pisces energy, and you'll be drawn here at a completely different time, and that's okay. It's weird how that works, but just trust. Just trust. Just feel in and trust. Okay. I'm getting more of that endings energy, final chances. So get this right so that you don't bring it into the astrological new year. New moon in Pisces 2022, Spirit, or whenever my soul collective gets this message. It feels really, really good. Like it's going to feel like fresh air. It's going to feel like fresh air. And as I said, if you're here, if you're viewing, I think that you're doing the work, you're in alignment. And if not, it's just going to be a little quick reminder. King of Swords, very clear energy. And usually King of Swords can be a little harsh, you know, cold, but that's not what I'm feeling at all. I'm feeling the clarity. Look at that. Ace of Swords, clarity. This is like the truth bringer. Also, I just have to say very quickly, Archangel Michael is with us now. The truth bringer. Are you the truth bringer? Or are you bringing, I just heard hard truths. It's like, it's a very intense energy you're coming with. I'm feeling you. And it's no nonsense, no bullshit, speaking it, being very direct. And being direct doesn't mean being rude or mean. It doesn't. I mean, unless you have to be in certain situations, but I wouldn't advocate for that. It's being honest. It's being honest. And really speaking up about what it is you want. That could be to yourself. What is it you really want? I'm also getting something about making difficult choices about like how you're spending your time and energy. The Hierophant and the Five of Swords. Yeah, okay, this is cool. So I was just getting that intuitive message about being really clear about how you spend your time and energy. So if you're working on something, it's the most important thing to you. Try not to get distracted by other opportunities. And I mean, sometimes that's great. Sometimes it can shake us up and it's a very positive thing. But this feels like, and then with the Hierophant and this coming out, it's kind of like distractions from this other more important thing. It's not to say you can't do that in the future. It's just stay true to the path. Don't let anyone take you off of it, because sometimes, you know, the universe kind of sends in those little diversions to see what we really want. Really, really want. What you really, really want. This is a good new moon reading. I can feel it. What do you really want? And wow, with this Five of Swords, usually quite a negative card, to be honest. That figure, that character is coming off at this very moment is kind of like gives no fucks about what other people think. And that's not in a harmful way. In this instance that I'm channeling, it's in a really positive way. It's in a like going for broke, going after what you want kind of way, working your ass off because it's in alignment. It's not for nothing. It's not a futile energy. It's a very good energy. And it's kind of like letting those other swords fall that do not matter as much right now, at least. Three of Wands. And then the Empress showing up again. So I'm going to take this Empress because I'm being drawn to. Three of Wands and the Empress. That Three of Wands, you know, it's got a bit of a Two of Wands vibe. It's got, you know, and the two just precedes it. And so this is maybe right after that choice-making energy. It's like in that split second, you make the choice. It's kind of like that idea of If you need to make a decision, flip a coin. And it's not the idea that when the coin lands, it'll tell you what choice to make, because you make that choice while the coin is in the air and you know which one you're wishing for. That's the idea of flipping the coin. And that's what that 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands energy is. It's like making that decision in a split second. And it's like just after that, it's the moment just after that. And it's a very high vibrational thing, knowing what you want and being honest about it. I'm curious why it is that you're not supposed to be distracted by something else. Oh my God. Ask and you shall receive. The devil and the world. Being bound. Being stuck in something and getting out of it. King of Swords. Ace of Swords. Cutting it out with the sword of the truth. With the sword of clarity. With the sword of decisiveness. Breaking those chains of the devil. Like I said, whatever that other thing is, whatever that other distraction is that's not your path right in this moment, it's not to say you can't do that later. It's just to say it's not right now. And going back to it is, it's just not in your highest good. Even if the thing in itself isn't a bad thing. We're definitely not even talking about addictions here. But if we're talking about relationships and the one that you want to go back to is toxic, you don't want to do that. It doesn't mean you can't do it in the future when you're both in better positions, or it doesn't mean you can't do it in the future when there's a new partner potential on the horizon. It just means right now, it's not what you want to get into, because the universe is bringing in a new cycle. This new moon is a breath of fresh air. And do recall that Pisces being the 12th sign, it's the end. It's the end. And zodiologically, astrologically, Aries being number 1, right? It's like that new start. And so don't bring in this devil energy to your new year. Just don't. Let 2022, or whenever it is you're hearing this, let this moment be the chance to break free, because you can come back to it. Time is a spiral. The nature of the universe is cyclical, and it will come back around when it's meant to. But don't force it. Don't let it in if it's not what you want. Venus with the Empress. And of course, Venus, I spoke about astrologically at this time being conjunct Mars and Pluto. It's kind of a warning. It's kind of a warning about knowing what it is that you want so that you don't get what you don't want. If that makes sense. The Empress doesn't have any qualms about knowing what she wants. She has everything she wants. And do you know how you get everything you want? You know it. And you get in alignment with it. And if it's not of your highest good and you're in a high vibration, the universe won't send it to you because it's not meant for you. It's not to say we don't all have challenges along the way. That's different. I'm talking if you're wishing for $1 million, but you're not meant to have $1 million. You're not going to get it unless you're working with dark magic, right? This is true alignment. Getting what you're supposed to when you're meant to. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, moving on. What do we want to work with? Give me just a moment. All right, I want an oracle card. I'm not sure why I want these, but we'll see. We'll see together. I didn't have a planned out deck that I was hoping to use. I just figured we'd figure it out together based on your energy. All right, universe. What does the viewer need to know for their best and highest good? What does our soul collective need to know for this new moon in Pisces? 12 degrees. 12. 2022. It'll be on March the 2nd. Wow, look at that. Oh, there were 2 there. Should we take them? Yes, no. Yes, no. I think we're going to take them. Wow. This is very not what I was expecting. 33. God speaks. Wow. Look at that. That's gorgeous. I wasn't expecting that. This is like a portal. That's what I feel. It's like a portal between like heaven and earth, but I'm feeling like the sun and earth. That's weird. I wonder if there's some significance to this Pisces new moon in terms of like a solar deity or something. It also has this feeling of some connection between our sun and a distant sun, like a solar sibling, cousin kind of feeling, like some other distant galaxy, civilization, consciousness working with us. God speaks, number 33. 33 is quite a divine number, right? We've been getting so many synchronistic numbers lately. So if you've been seeing a lot of those 2s, 3s, 9s, 8s, etc., the ancient ones, number 52. Look at this, and look at this color. I was describing that I had seen this sort of color, and look at that. It's coming out in our cards. No surprise, right? What's interesting is there's like this crowd of people here, and then this one being is being beamed up. And as I spoke about Pisces being the 12th house, there is some warning about like actual physical death being present during that time, because 12th house does mean that, but also the 4th house means that. Usually though, the 12th house means psychological death or the ending of something or transformation. But it can mean death, and I'm not saying at all that you will pass. I'm just saying that there could be that globally, maybe. Not to, scare anyone, but here, though, in this card, it's quite beautiful, and it's like this person is being indoctrinated, being accepted into a higher group or realm, if that makes sense. It's like they're being accepted into this circle, and it's like a higher circle. It's a higher council of light. So maybe some of you are spiritually leveling up in that way. You've been doing a lot of work, and this is your reward. I have to say, this new moon reading is coming out a lot like a recent special message that I did. So please check that out. The message there was that if you're here on earth to do sort of spiritual work, no matter what it is that you do, but you're in service to the light, our jobs are a lot harder and the responsibility is vast, but it's so very important to hold the light right now. And that's just a little side message. If you're drawn to it, go check it out. This is, being indoctrinated, being taken into a higher circle, a higher realm. Maybe you've been, my nose itches when I channel. Maybe you've been having dreams, or you've been doing a lot of work on the astral plane. You're waking up really tired in the mornings, like you feel like you haven't rested, and it's not a physical health thing, it's a spiritual thing in this case. That could be why you're doing a lot of work. Could we have one more card, please? Oh, okay. Whew. Okay, there's a lot they want to talk to you about today. The choice, number 62. The choice, intuitively, what I'm feeling with the choice is, like I said, this new moon has a lot of potential. Are you going to go about it high vibe, low vibe, right? Are you going to be sucked into that Venus, Pluto, Mars kind of seductive but dangerous energy? Or are you going to use that for your creativity, for your fulfillment, for your path forward, instead of getting caught up in earthly matters that are just not good for you? And it doesn't mean to say we do not live on the earth plane, because that is just as important as living in the spiritual world, okay? Let's make that clear. It's just to say earthly things that are not good for you. So don't get it twisted. You know, if something's good for you, that's great. This is different and you'll know it. And then let the feminine lead the way. I'm not feeling this card at all, but it did pop out. Maybe it's just with this Empress, it's a message about that. I mean, Mars being a masculine energy, Pluto being a sort of masculine energy, and then Venus being wrapped up in them. Don't forget Venus. Don't forget the Empress-like energy. Because there could be potential for anger or misunderstandings or blow-ups with Jupiter, but instead, that's not what you're being asked to do. You're being asked to make that choice between higher and lower. And it feels like I know what you're going to choose. It's just a bit of a warning, or if you did make that choice and you're watching this later on, it's kind of, it's just going to explain kind of what happened and why it didn't go so well for you. And that's okay. We all have to learn and grow, and progress is not linear. You can always come back here. You're always welcome. And we'll, you know, get back to it together. Okay, I want to pull a few more tarot cards and then I will let you be. I'm specifically that Empress, the Venus there. I want these other cards. The Venus there. There's something about the Venus symbol. Excuse me, I'll pull these down so you can see them. Can you tell me, please, about Venus? Why is Venus relevant during this new moon? Why is this Empress energy coming through so strongly? Ooh, I'm noticing the like moving river behind her. And the trees, the plants. So it's one, I got two messages at once. It was one, making sure to protect the feminine in the sense of protecting the natural world, fighting to protect that. And two, I got, with that moving water, be careful of flooding if you live in a zone that's prone to flooding. There's something about, you know, when sometimes like feminine energy can get blocked, it can really like, we all know what happens when Mother Earth isn't happy. That's all I'm saying. So it's just to be aware of that. Any creeks or streams, I'm feeling small water systems with that as a little like potential heads up. What does Venus want to tell me? Also go look at Venus. She's apparently very bright right now. Two of Pentacles. That's that choice. Choice. Two of Pentacles, that choice. What is the choice? Can you tell me what the choice is? Knowing what you want. It's knowing what you want. Look at that, the stars. Knowing what you want in this way, in this star way. What are you aligned with? What are you truly meant for? Knowing it deep down in your heart, in your soul. That's what this is. It's both the masculine and the feminine knowing. That's what's so interesting. It's being decisive and clear in the mind and also feeling it down in the soul, down in the body. And it's not to say that both is not true for the opposite, right? It's just that mental clarity versus that like soul, emotional body clarity. And this is both of them together, working together in the most beautiful way, as they should, as all of us, you know, strive to be aligned with both. It's logical and it's a feeling thing, and it's together. Those two create this third spiritual way. And this is the spiritual way. This is the stars. This is making that choice deep down in your soul and going after it, going for broke and moving forward. Staying on your true path, not letting any detractors, whether it's good or bad, just distractions, get to you, because this is what is for you, the ancient ones. You are chosen for a reason to be here hearing this message. You have a lot of work to do. And like I said, that comes with great responsibility. And do check out that special message. 7, spirituality. You have a lot of work to do and you're just getting started. That's what I'm getting. And God is God, universe, spirit, the creator, Mother Earth, Gaia, goddess, whatever. God is noticing. And God is saying, to obey. And that sounds really weird because I know that's like a religious thing and I'm not personally religious, but I think it was coming through the Hierophant energy, just in the sense of obeying your higher self, obeying your truth, no one else's truth, no doctrine, but your truth instead of this. Which would you rather be in service to? That's the choice. Which would you rather be in service to? This higher power idea or this material, physical, devilish energy? It's breaking free of that and not bringing it into your new year. Okay, anything else? One more thing. The Fool. Look at that. That is just perfect. The Fool. It's beautiful. Making that choice responsibly, but going for it. Like I said, going for broke. That's the name of the game here. Beautiful butterfly energy. Butterflies could be a synchronicity for you. If so, here you go. You needed to hear it. There it is. I feel really good, really positive, really grounded after delivering this message. And I thank you for that. And let me know how these new moon energies play out for you and what you're doing to prepare for that astrological new year, that Aries new year, that Fool energy, the 0. Let me know. I'd love to find out. Okay. Until next time, do take care.